Hello and welcome back to my English classes. Now today we are going to see class 10th first chapter from Flight, A Letter to God. Now here the story is dealing with a farmer whose name is Lincho. Now Lincho crops has been destroyed and now he is asking God to give him 100 pesos. Pesos is a currency in America, like we have money in India. Now we will see that whether he is going to get it or not. And for this he wrote a letter to God. Now I'll first read the paragraph and then I will explain you. The house, the only one in the entire valley, sat on the crest of the low hill. Crest means on the top of the hill. From this height, one could see the river and the field of ripe corn dotted with the flowers that always promised a good harvest. Now here, this was the only family who was sitting idle, and they were watching the corn dotted with the flowers. Okay, the only thing the earth needed was a downpour or at least a shower. A shower means water. Everybody was waiting for rain to come down. Throughout the morning, Lincho, who knew his fields intimately, had done nothing else but see the sky towards the northeast. Now here, Lincho also saying this, that my fields are intimately looking towards God for rain. Now we are really going to get some water, woman. The woman who was preparing supper replied, yes, God willing. Now here he is talking to a woman and who is preparing a food for him. So he had a talk that maybe we are going to have rain. The older boys were working in the field while the smaller ones were playing near the house until the woman called to them all, come for dinner. It was during the meal that just as Lyncher had predicted, big drops of rain began to fall. Okay, the prediction means भविष्यवाणी. पहले से किसी चीज़ के बारे में बता देना और अगर वो हो जाती है तो कहते हैं यार इसकी भविष्यवाणी पूरी हो गई. तो in the same way, as he has predicted that okay, God is going to bring rain, so it started raining. In the northeast, huge mountains of clouds could be seen approaching the air. The air was fresh and sweet. The man went out for no other reason than to have a pleasure of feeling the rain in his body. Now here, Lincho went not to see how the rain is falling. He went there for the good feeling of rain. And when he returned, he exclaimed, he said, these aren't raindrops falling from the sky. They are new coins. The big drops are 10 cents pieces and the little ones are 5. Now Lincho here, because he is in need of money, so he is comparing those drops, the size of the drops with the coins. So he's saying this, that the big drops are 10 coins and the little ones are 5. With a satisfied expression, he regarded the field of ripe corn with its flowers, wrapped in the curtain of rain. Means wrapped means covered. With a satisfied expression, he regarded the field of ripe corn with its flowers. With the satisfaction of that the rain has come and now his fields will be full with flowers, corn flowers, wrapped in the certain curtain of rain. But suddenly a strong wind began to blow, and along with the rain, very large hailstorm began to fall. After some time, the wind blew. It was like a hailstorm, and everything was destroyed. These truly did resemble new silver coins. Okay, now these hailstorms were considered as silver coins. The boys, exposing themselves to the rain, ran out to collect the frozen pearls. जो ओले गिरते हैं, those are said here as frozen pearls. It's really getting bad now, exclaimed the man. I hope it passes quickly. It did not pass quickly for an hour. The hail rained on the house, the garden, the hillside, the cornfield, on the whole valley. The field was white and if covered with salt. Now the drops of water was so high that everything was covered like a white sheet. ठीक है, ऐसे लग रहा था जैसे उस सब जगह पे सबने किसी ने एक वाइट चादर बिछा दी है. Not a leaf remained on the trees. All the trees were covered with snow. Covered with those frozen pearls. Not a leaf remained on the tree. The corn was totally destroyed. The flowers were gone from the plants. Lincho's soul was filled with sadness. When the storm had passed, he stood in the middle of the field and said to his sons, a plague of locusts would have left more than this. The hail has left nothing. This year we will have no corn. That means he was so disappointed with this hailstorm that he said this, that all the corn is destroyed. Nothing is left now. This time we are not going to have anything. That night was a sorrowful one. All our work for nothing. There's no one who can help us. We'll all go hungry this year. Now he is saying this, that as nobody is here to help us, so this year maybe we are going to be alone and nobody is there to help us, and this year we are going to stay hungry. But in the hearts of all who lived in that solitary house in the middle of the valley, there was a single hope, help from God. Now, as you know that everything was destroyed, nothing was left, and they were hungry. They are not having even the coins to buy something and eat. So they were thinking that only one help is there from God. Don't be so upset even though this seems like a total loss. Remember, no one dies of hunger. He is consoling everyone. Don't worry. God is there to help. Nobody is going to die of hunger. That's what they say. No one dies of hunger. All through the night, Lincho thought only of this one hope, the help of God, whose eyes, as he had been instructed, was seeing even what is deep in one's conscience. Now here, जब हम कभी परेशान होते हैं तो हमें नींद भी नहीं आती है. So whole night we are not able to sleep properly. In the same way here, Lincho's condition was the same. And whole night he was thinking about that his inner sense of doing this thing, that whether to ask help from God is right or wrong. He is thinking of this whole night. Lincho was an ox of a man, working like an animal in the field. मतलब ox जैसे पूरे टाइम खेत में काम करता है, वैसे ही Lincho was a hard working man. He worked whole day in the field, but still he knew how to write. Okay, he was not much educated. The following Sunday, the coming Sunday, at daybreak, he began to write a letter which he himself would carry to town and place it in the mail. It was nothing less than a letter to God. Now on Sunday, he started writing letter to God, and he decided to place that letter himself. He'll go to the city, okay, and then he dropped that letter in the post office. God, he wrote. Now from here we will see what he has written in his letter. God, he wrote, if you don't help me, my family and I will go hungry this year. I need 100 pesos in order to sow my field again and to live until the crop comes, because the hailstorm. Now here he is telling the truth to God, that because of hailstorm everything is destroyed, and now he wants 100 pesos so that he can again buy the seeds and sow those seeds in the field and get corns. He wrote to God, he wrote to God on the envelope, put the letter inside, and still troubled. He was feeling unconscious. बहुत अजीब सा उसको फील हो रहा था, ठीक है कि नहीं है. He was not able to decide properly. But even then he wrote a letter to God. He wrote that if you are not going to help us, we are going to be hungry throughout the year. Went to town. At the post office, he placed a stamp on the letter and dropped it in the mailbox. Now there he went to the post office, he wrote on the envelope, letter to God, and he dropped that letter in the mailbox. One of the employees, who was a postman and also helped at the post office, went to his boss, laughing heartily, and showed him a letter to God. Now here, many times it happens that people make fun of certain situations because they don't know the reality, what was the problem. So in the same way, here one of the postman was laughing when he saw this, a letter to God. Never in his career as a postman had he known that address. Nobody knows the address of God. Nobody. That is why he was laughing that where he is going to send this letter. The postmaster, a fat, admirable means friendly and pleasant fellow, also broke out laughing. But almost immediately he turned serious and tapped the letter on his desk. Tap the letter means he put the letter on the desk. Commented, "What faith! I wish I had that faith on the man who wrote this letter, starting up a correspondence with God." Now here, first the postmaster was laughing, but on the second point he thought that what a big faith he has in God. So he became serious. He says this, that what a faith this man is having, that if he will write a letter to God, God is going to help him. So in order not to shake the writer's faith in God, the postmaster came up with an idea. Not shake the writer's faith in God means मतलब उसका भरोसा ना टूटे. The lyncho's faith should not be broken in God. So he make an idea. Answer the letter. But when he opened it, it was evident that to answer it, he needed something more than goodwill. Okay. But when he opened the letter and saw that he needed more evidence than to answer it. Ink and paper. But he stuck to his resolution. He was stuck to his resolution means the postmaster, what he decided, he was confident and was yes to it that he is going to help that person. That means Lyncho. He asked for money from his employees. He himself gave part of his salary, and several friends of his were obliged to give something for an act of charity. Now here, the postmaster has put on his half of his salary. He asked his friend, he asked the other workers to help and give some money to Lyncho. It was impossible for him to gather together the 100 pesos, so he was able to send the farmer only a little more than half. Little more than half means not 100, but maybe 50, 55, 56, and so on. He put the money in an envelope addressed to Lyncho, and with it a letter containing only a single word is a signature, God. Now here he put the money, whatever he has collected, and he only signed it in the name of God. The following Sunday, Lyncho came a bit earlier than usual to ask if there was a letter for him. It was the postman himself who handed the letter to him, while the postmaster, experiencing the contentment of the man who has performed a good deed, looked on from his office. Now here next day Lincho came, जैसे हम लोग लेटर का वेट करते हैं, in the same way he came earlier to see that whether he got answer from God or not. So postmaster was watching Lincho from inside. Lincho showed not the slightest surprise on seeing the money. Such was his confidence. Means मतलब surprise नहीं था, उसको पता था कि God will help him. But he became angry when he counted the money. Why? Because the money was not 100 pesos. God could not have made a mistake, nor could he have denied Lincho what he had requested. Now Lincho is saying to himself that how can God not complete his desire of 100 pesos? Immediately Lincho went up to the window to ask for paper and ink. On the public writing table, he started to write with much wrinkling of his brow. मतलब जब गुस्सा होते हैं तो ऐसे हम लोग भौं चढ़ा लेते हैं, गुस्से में लिखते हैं. Caused by the effort he had to make to express his ideas. When he finished, he went to the window to buy a stamp, which he licked and then affixed to the envelope with a blow of his fist. ओके उसको इतना गुस्सा चढ़ा था कि उसने लेटर लिखा, जल्दी जल्दी चिपकाया. द मोमेंट द लेटर फेल इनटू द मेल बॉक्स, द पोस्ट मास्टर वेंट टू ओपन इट. ओके as soon as Lincho put the second letter in the mailbox, the postmaster immediately went and opened the letter. It said what the letter said: God, of the money that I asked for, only 70 pesos reached me. That means the people have arranged only 70 pesos. Send me the rest, since I need it very much. Now here Lincho is in need of such a money that he again wrote a letter to God to send the rest of the money. But don't send it to me through the mailbox, because the post office employees are a bunch of crooks. Lincho. Now here, as Lincho doesn't knew that they were the only people who tried to help Lincho, but Lincho thought that the post office people were not good people. They must have taken the money from that. So that is why he said this, that don't send the money in the post office, because the employees are bunch of crooks. Means they can take out the money from my bag. I hope you have understood the chapter. Thank you. Please do like and share my channel, Mahi English Classes. Thank you.